All right, welcome everyone to the RSP Film Room, and we have a really special episode this week. I have a privilege today to actually watch film with the prospect who we're going to be studying. And so today we're going to be watching film of Vad Lee, and joining us is the one and only Vad Lee of James Madison. Vad, thank you for joining us on the show today. This is a real privilege for us.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm honored and certainly been watching you guys work. So happy to be here.
Well, great. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to break down Vad's game against SMU. We'll talk a little bit about that game heading into it, and we're just going to watch the tape that was provided on Draft Breakdown. I've done a show with Mark Schofield, who says hello, by the way, and wishes you the best. And
I'll tell him I appreciate it. Tell him I say hi.
I absolutely will. And yeah, and we watched this game in the past, but I thought it would be really a lot of fun to take even another view, because we're obviously guessing about a lot of things as we're going through the process and trying to assume what we think Vad was looking at. But now we're
You guys were pretty. You guys were pretty on it. You guys are pretty accurate. So I look forward to seeing the comparison and everything of what I say. But you guys, for the most part, I watched the whole thing and it sounded pretty dead on.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. That's encouraging for us. So we're not leading too many people astray. So, to get started, Vad, just tell me, I mean, just before we even get going with this game, tell me how you really got into, loving the game and playing the game, and how you gravitated to the quarterback position.
Well, I've been playing the game for a long time now. I know it's funny saying that, I haven't even played in the NFL yet, but I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and been playing ever since. And early on, I played for the Durham Eagles Pop Warner team and had a lot of success and a lot of great memories there. Even going to Orlando, Florida, going 16-0 and winning the Pop Warner Super Bowl, which was pretty cool. Something that my parents say was the best time of their life. So football has been extremely important to my family and has taken me to a lot of places. I have an older brother whose name is Dominic Sutton, and he played basketball. He played at Kansas State University for 3 years, and now he played overseas basketball in Italy. And he played football, and I was able to see him play, and I fell in love with the game just watching him and asking my mom, when is my turn to go? When can I go? He's 7 years older than me, so I was like, man, when can I go? And ever since 5 years old, flag football, and just been going ever since. And one day, so I started out playing running back, and I started out playing O-line, D-line, then moved to running back, a little tight end, and then finally got to the quarterback position, and I fell in love with it from day one and ever since. It's certainly been something that's quarterback is unique and quarterbacks are different. And I've fell in love with just the game, managing the game, making plays. Even though I get the ball every play in my hand, I do love that. But I also like getting other people involved. So even my career at James Madison, we had multiple receivers over 500 yards receiving, just not that one guy, So I certainly like passing the ball to multiple guys and making sure that everybody, because when you have a team chemistry and everybody feel important and everybody feel a part of the team, that's where you thrive and that's where success come. And I know that starts with the quarterback position. So I've been just extremely blessed and honored to play this position, and thankful to be at a place like James Madison for giving me the opportunity to show all my skills and showcase my talents.
Yeah, and obviously you're a talented player. I mean, it's getting a chance to watch your games. I know that there has been, there's oftentimes that when the NFL or the NFL media often talk about quarterbacks and they see anybody that has any ability to run the football,
Right.
they oftentimes ask the question, well, could he be a running back? And you are definitely a quarterback. I know that Mark and I talked about that. Yeah, I mean, and no two quarterback, to me, quarterbacks are kind of like snowflakes, and neither, each one is unique.
Yeah,
and you know, and you have obviously you're a strong guy with a good amount of speed, but the way that the awareness that you show in the pocket, the ability to be aware about where your receivers are when plays break down, the way that you play inside and outside of structure is compelling, you know, and it's something that I think that it's going to be fun to get a chance to watch you against SMU because you know this was a chance for you after being at Tech to come to an
Mhm.
offense where you're going to be throwing more, where you've been
Mhm.
more involved as a passer, and now you're playing a Division I team again. So talk about what that was like going into this game.
Um, it was the fourth game of the season, and it was one of those games that we had circled the entire time. We knew that by the time the fourth game come, we should be rolling, and it was really cool. Just to see when the schedule first came out, we like, man, we play a Division I A team the fourth game of the season. We're gonna have a chance to win that game. It's different when you play in the first game because you just kind of don't know. That's when the FCS teams get beat up on a little bit. But we knew that we would be ready and prepared for that. So going into that week, I was just really excited playing at Georgia Tech in the ACC. Obviously played against a lot of good talent. You know, being a starting quarterback in the ACC. You know, we played some really talented teams like the Miamis, the Florida States, and Virginia's, teams like that. But I knew that for me, it was a little bit more personal because I knew that this would be my last opportunity to play a Division I A team again, and I was just really excited. And I knew going into the game that in order for us to win, that I needed to do everything. I needed to bring every trick, every trade, everything that I worked on for the last 15 years of playing football. I knew that it had to come out this game in order for us to win, in order for us to be in a position to win. And I was really excited going into the game, and we had a great game plan going in. I have great coaches, I have great teammates, and ultimately we made more plays than them, and it was just a fun game. Obviously making history, being the only quarterback to rush and pass for over 275 yards. I would have never imagined me running for that many yards. It was just a thing. It was just a feel of the game, taking what's there. I didn't even take a lot of hits that game. It was me getting down, just taking what they give me, and it was really exciting to lead us down for the game-winning touchdown. That was one of my lifetime memories, and something that I will be able to keep forever.
Yeah, and it was exciting to watch for sure, you know. And it was funny because, you know, you before the show, as we just got on and we talked a little bit, you know, you as any performer you talk to, and you know, when you're in front of people, you're performing, you know.
Right.
So any performer you talk to, you know, they're always going to be self-critical about some aspects
Absolutely.
of the game, you know. And you mentioned some things that you were like, technically this wasn't my best game, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
as we, yeah,
this was not my best game. I sometimes I cringe when scouts and teams want to watch this game because I'm like, man, I'm so much better than that. But it's crazy because setting records that game. But fundamentally, I don't think that this was my best game. It was simply just me trying to make plays this game.
yeah,
Doing is I put it equivalent to the Super Bowl. You know, if I'm playing in the Super Bowl, I know that we got here for a reason, and I know I'm going to give everything that I got, and hopefully, you go back and the preparation of playing the games before help you fundamentally and things like that. But I know that I just gave everything I had,
yeah.
and that's all that really mattered.
And smart evaluators and scouts are going to look at this game and they may know, they go, okay, well, there's some things that you're gonna have to work on in terms
Yeah,
of what you have to fix and refine. But every player is always constantly refining those aspects of their game. And
absolutely.
one of the things that they probably appreciate, I would imagine, I know I did, is when the structure breaks down, what do?
Right.
Because you can't just say, well, I went by the book and it didn't work out. You know,
Right.
you gotta make something happen. So
Right.
you certainly showed that in a great degree. So without any any more of this intro. We're going to go into this, and the only other thing I have to do is just read our customary little disclaimer here, so that for copyright reasons with this film, we don't have any issues with anybody. And I'll just let everyone know that the videos here posted at the RSP Film Room are not hosted on the server, and that the original content's not considered to be the property of the RSP Film Room, and the videos are considered to be used under the fair use doctrine of the United States copyright law, which is Title 17 U.S. Code Sections 107 through 118. And the videos are used on this site for editorial and educational purposes only, and that the RSP Film Room and its staff don't claim ownership of any original video content, and the RSP Film Room staff don't use any of these videos, clips in advertisements, marketing, or for direct financial gain. All the contents in each clip is considered owned by the individual broadcast companies. So there you have it. If you're new to this, it's two guys watching film and learning about the game as we watch it. We're going to have things rewound. We're going to watch things in slow motion, and I'm just going to make sure now I'm going to put this up and share it with Vad and make sure that he can see everything that I'm showing on the screen, and we will be good to go once we get started here. Let's see. All right, so how does that look, Vad? You see everything all right?
Yes, sir. I can see.
Okay, good deal. All right. I found that the clips don't jump around as much if we do it in half speed.
Okay.
So I'm going to give that a shot first, and you just let me know if it's a little jumpy, and we'll see what we can do to adjust. But starting off, I mean, could you, I guess heading into the game before we even get going can you talk about, the responsibilities that you have in this offense, and compare that or contrast in terms of what we often see with some quarterbacks in terms of what they do?
Oh, this offense, it go as the quarterback go, and it's a lot of flexibility. Obviously, year two, more flexibility than year one, just because I was a smarter player and had just more say in the offense. And during the week, I'm allowed to come in and watch film with the coach, and even watch film on my own, suggest new plays, suggest plays that will work. And my quarterback coach, Brett Elliott, done a wonderful job of allowing me to just have freedom in the offense. And I call my own protections in this offense. So we protect ourselves, the quarterback do, and we like to go really fast on offense. So that's one thing that we do. And the quarterback obviously have a lot of running game responsibilities, and I average throwing the ball 37 times a game. So this is a fun offense to play in if you want to. If you're a quarterback that can run and also can pass the ball, you want to play in this offense.
That sure looks like it. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll just follow your lead. I'll ask you a few questions as we go, but let's start off with this opening play. I mean, we got you in a 2-by-1 set. Looks like 11 personnel.
Yeah, 3-by-1.
Yep. So let's go ahead and start this and see what we got going on here.
So we got two pullers on this play. We got the guard pulling and then the running back pull, and it's a design run for the quarterback counter play. So just a play to get started, to see how they're playing and out leverage their backers that are in the box in the 4-2 over front.
Yeah.
And that's some great blocking.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and it's a nice job of setting it up and getting down and avoiding punishment, which I always like to see.
Yeah. That's huge. It's something that I had to learn after coming from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, really? Was it more of and I would imagine that Tech offense, there's more of an extension of like, hey, run it like a running back.
Oh yeah. I would get in trouble if I did something like that.
See, there you go. That's a major difference. That's interesting.
Right here we have a miscommunication on this play. My receiver, the number 2 receiver, didn't get my signal pre-snap. I wanted a bubble right here because it's just stealing. There you got their safety is about 12 yards back. The backers are inside the box, and really we got a 2-on-1 combination right here if we can get the ball thrown out. But obviously he didn't run the route, and it was just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage at that point.
I see. So yeah, you're down here looking down here at this point.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's not it's not his fault. That was usually so it's a run. That was a run play. In our offense, we can pass it on run plays. We got the run pass option, and usually when we run front side, they usually block, and the back side or run the bubble. But this time, I wanted to take advantage of him being wide open. So we just mishandled the signal and just we're on two different pages.
right. But it's a nice job of being able to duck away here as much as you can, and then just try to get as much as you can here at this stage of the game. And it
That's
just it's a nice highlight of even to me it's a nice highlight even when things go wrong like this. You look at, okay, you see your lower body strength, your balance to be able to shake off a lineman, and to be able to then make somebody miss and still at least minimize the loss.
you
So
got to be able to adjust on the fly as a quarterback, which is really important.
yeah, and you have to be able to understand when you just take bad plays happen, and you
Yeah.
have to learn how to minimize the damage, as
Right.
opposed to sometimes a lot of players, and I see a lot of players who are at the stage of play that you're in, who oftentimes feel like they got to be the hero in
Yeah.
every situation, and it can backfire.
Don't make a bad play worse.
Yep.
So right here, it looks like it's cover four coverage, two high safety, and we're just gonna work the quarters defender right here with our slot receiver. He has an option route. He can go in or out. So um, sometimes the timing was a little bit late for me because you never know if they're gonna jerk in or out. Sometimes my receivers are so creative; they can be so confusing sometimes. But I love those speedy guys. They make plays.
Nice. It's interesting. Do you get? I mean, I would have to think a big game like this, you've got to be excited early on in this game.
Oh
The
yeah,
adrenaline's got to be flowing.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And I think that's why some of my passes, I probably in a couple drives coming up, I feel like some of my passes was just too excited. Just having to calm down because as the game go on, it certainly get better. But yeah, I was just so excited coming into the game, especially the first drive. We get the ball first. We going against a Division 1A team. Let's go score. Let's
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of see the excitement in some of your body language in terms of like when you're, kind of putting a little extra on this throw. Um,
Right.
but the setup with the feet are there. You got a nice stable base under you. It seems like, to be able to get the adjustment, and obviously the ball's where it needs to be at this stage. So
Yeah. Want to get closer to the red zone, you got to be careful with that corner, even in cover four. That corner can come off and mess with you if that slot receiver break out.
yeah.
They started doing it a lot later on in the game, but even right there, he's waiting for me to throw it.
All right. So let's see. We get a little bit further inside the 5 here.
Hey, we just widen them out. We getting everybody wide, trying to get that defense out wide, and really we got 5-on-5 blockers, and then quarterback run the ball.
And
So
so
get them better.
what are you looking at pre-snap here? What do you?
Pre-snap, I'm looking for bubble opportunities. Looking to throw it out there. If we got leverage and we got numbers, then I can throw it out there. Also, that Mike, who's right outside the left tackle, the guy right there. I'm trying to get him. The reason I pump fake left so he can take a couple of steps left. I can throw it either side, but me watching film and me understanding defenses now it's 4-on-3 over there, so I got him to move a little bit, and that was my main option on this go. On this play.
Yeah, and it didn't take much. I mean, just turning your shoulders in that direction
Right.
is enough for him to flow out there, and he's already looking at the safety. And once all it takes is a step.
All right, that's all it takes.
Yeah, nice job. All right, so now we're in our next series here.
Look like it might be pressure. Nope, cover four.
Yeah, let's take a look
So
at
this,
that again.
This is a 3rd and 9. Again, it's cover four. Just like that play at the goal line. Now we have an option route, a deeper option route by the slot receiver versus that quarters defender out there over the number 2 slot to the field. And right now, I know that the Mike has removed himself from the box, and the middle of the field is wide open. So this is one of those throws that I wish that I could have back. But certainly something that I learned from. And mechanically, feel like I could have maybe hung in there a little bit more, even though the guy was in my face. Maybe I could slide right there, slide right, and make a easy, nice throw.
Yeah. But it also looks like, I mean, you can see too, it's like, obviously you see where to go, you know where to go with the ball, you're excited about getting it there, and it's, at the same time, I mean, that's something that, yeah, with time, I mean, that level of patience is something that I often see with your game in terms of how you move in the pocket. I would imagine the fact that you're aware of this, you're aware of what you're seeing, that the ability to say, okay, I've got another beat here where I can slow down, move, and still
Yeah,
have this guy wide open. That's
yeah.
going to come.
Yeah, Matt, that's something that I've been working extremely hard on. I think footwork. If you watch my film, I think footwork would probably. If I'm an NFL scout, I'll probably put a question mark by footwork. But honestly, I feel like that's one of my strengths now that I've been working on it for the last 6 months.
That's great. That's great. I've often, I'd love for you to tell me what you think of this, because I've often thought about footwork as the way that a quarterback talks or communicates. It's kind of the link between their eyes and what's going on in the field and how they react to it. And it's like you get a chance to see that's part of the expression of setting up your throws and setting up everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what we got here. So we got the corner kind of coming off here on this side.
Yeah. So middle of the field is open. We got like a dagger play. We got the slot guy. So on this play, I'm looking from right to left. So I checked this boundary safety out at the bottom of the screen. He's far removed out. We got like a bang 8, or we call it a glance at JMU. I can throw that. So it's a full field concept. I can throw that, but I see that that's taking away the safety rotate down. He's right in my throwing lane. So now I have to go left. And it's just a matter of making the throw. And it's not been one of my best throws, but obviously moving around in the pocket, I thought that was good. Just excited,
Yeah. But that's the thing, you got part of it down already. I mean, the ability to just, you felt the pressure, you're able to step up and just, get yourself in position. And yeah, as you said, the footwork may not have been as crisp as you'd wanted it, and the ball goes a little high, but you're in the position there to make the play and know where to go. It's still a nice demonstration there for sure. So, okay, now you got some pressure. It looks like you got some rotation. You got your cornerback coming up and your safety.
Yeah, it looked like it might be a cat blitz right here. Yep, it is. So pre-snap, I believe. Yeah, I definitely seen that pre-snap, and we like to zone into blitz. So anytime we have blitz, we like to run into it, zone into it, which is what we're doing right here. But by the rotation, that forces that Mike to move over too. And right now we have an option where instead of throwing bubbles, we now throw like the 3-yard hit. We call it a look, and that's by the number 3 receiver. So just threw this out here. It's just stealing.
Yeah,
reading that Mike. If he take any steps inside, so I'm reading the C gap actually because it's a zone read play. But I'm reading the C gap. I'm reading the Mike through the C gap. So I'm reading 2 people, and it's just stealing.
Yeah, and this is the type of thing that good quarterbacks find the easy plays. It's really as fans, I think we get impressed by all the difficult plays, but it's the easy plays that you make on a regular basis, and being able to find the easy plays in difficult situations.
Right, that's where quarterbacks are efficient. It's all about being efficient, and even though the long plays are exciting, it's all about those short throws and getting the chains to continue to move.
Yeah.
So we got a slip play here. The tight end came across The other side, he slipped this. So I'm reading the C gap. He don't touch the C gap because that's my read, and he's trying to get to the second level where the backers are. They did a nice job of filling the safety filling in, but we got our receiver crack backing on it, putting me on a corner, and I like my chances against a corner.
Yeah, yeah. And you're certainly a graceful athlete. I mean, you've got the burst to get the corner on this play, and then you've just got you seem to be pretty flexible in the hips to be able to hurdle a guy like this, but still have the balance that when you take the contact, you're not completely sprawled at this point
Yeah.
either. So that and I can understand why that excites some people when they look at it purely from, I'm looking at Vad Lee as an athlete, but we've already seen Vad Lee the quarterback. We're already seeing more of Vad Lee the quarterback here. And to me, the running is the bonus. It's the icing on the cake.
Right. So right here we have the same play like we had 2 plays ago. The 2 plays ago was in the trips formation, and this is more like 2x2 set. Even though it is trips, but the tight end is attached, so it's a little further throw. So usually on these plays, I don't really harp on getting my feet set because I'm trying to get the ball out as fast as possible.
Right.
So as you see, the outside linebacker took steps in. It's stealing again. So obviously, this is another play that I wish that I can have back because it's just stealing. We're just taking what the defense give us. I'm trying to get the ball out as fast as possible to my playmakers. They're the ones that make plays.
So what are the things you're doing to work on your foot that you've done to work on your footwork? And even in hindsight now that you're looking at this play, would you approach your footwork any differently on this play now that you've been working more on it? Or is it something that you'd say, no, I'd do it the same, but just the throw just didn't come out as well?
I'll probably step to my target more instead of so it's all about the rotations of your shoulders. And right now I'm throwing with all arm on this play. So now through the last 4 weeks, I've been just incorporating more of my body. I have a strong enough arm already, but even when I put my body with it, it's even better, and it makes more sense, and it's more accurate too.
Yeah.
I would just probably step a little bit with that left foot right to my target, and it still be just as quick.
Yeah. Trust me when I watch quarterbacks who are earning the notoriety on the first round level, who people talk about their great arm strength. I still see this type of throw on a regular basis, and I still see the same type of result as this.
Yeah. Well, you always going to see it. And even I watch a lot of film with Tom Brady, and sometimes he getting that ball out so fast where you don't have time to worry about that. And obviously we know that the caliber athletes are in the NFL. So
exactly. So this is just, it's just one of those plays. But it's interesting to hear your mindset with that as well too. So, all right. So moving forward.
We got some pressure here.
Yeah.
One high, 2 high, go to 1 high. Look like it's some form of man. It probably be, some type of man principle.
Yeah, and let's see what we got here. Let's watch it here one time. And on a play like this, there's no consulting the sideline. This is more just like, this is what you see, and this is what and the decision you make based on what you see with this, right?
Yeah, so this was a called screen. This is a screen play, but I also have the option if they overload the left side, I also have the option to come back to my single receiver, and I can give him any route that I feel would be successful. But I feel like we have the numbers, especially if it's blitz. I want to throw into blitz. So you just helping the play out even more if you're blitzing. So obviously you can kind of get a tip on that Mike backer. He's kind of leaning. He's right over. He probably inside shade of that end, and then the guy on the outside is coming.
Yeah. So what if you were to go to the single receiver, what would you do to communicate to him that what kind of route you were doing?
I give him a signal. So usually my man beaters, or it'll be a man-to-man route. So usually it'll be a slant or a go or or we call it a glance. It's a 7-step slant, which is equivalent to a bang 8.
Yeah.
So we love that throw actually. So
Okay. Good to know. And I won't ask you to reveal your signals there, but didn't mean it
yeah,
like that anyway.
well, they got
But
new offensive coordinator, so they might
yeah,
not no more.
but that's a nice touch on that pass too.
Oh yeah, it's running back, so you certainly don't want to kill the running back. You want to get it right where he can catch it right in front of him, so he can keep running. That's what he do best.
Yeah. I mean, what are the types of things? I mean, if there's a quarterback watching this who's, in high school or middle school or,
Mhm.
and he's like, how do I get better at throwing some of these touch passes that are, wide routes or swing routes like this?
Well, it's all equivalent to your footwork. It's knowing your personnel. If I know I'm throwing it to a running back, I'm not going to try to throw it hard to that running back. And it's all about the rotation of your shoulders. Well, you got to rotate those shoulders and finish at your target, which is really what my advice would be.
That's nice. And you can definitely see that on display here on this route. I mean, they come all the way around and, you're not putting a ton on it, but you're still following through.
Yep, you got to follow through. And sometimes in high school quarterbacks, and I was probably even taught this, you always, especially being 6'1.5", I was always taught to be on my toes. So that's one thing that I've changed a lot because it's all about being pushing off and driving off that back foot. So that's one thing I changed. And also another thing that high school quarterbacks probably taught a lot is to bring that hand, like taking something out your pocket or it's different, so many different sayings from that. But I think that's something that is kind of false. You want to finish at your target. You want your shoulders to rotate your hand down. You don't want to just snatch across your body. So that's something that I've been working on. I train high school quarterbacks as well this semester, and so I've been coaching that a lot.
Tell me about the back foot again and why it is you want to be working off that back foot rather than on your toes.
Because when you throwing the football and you're on your toes in the pocket, you are bouncing and hopping. Then you got to come back down to throw the ball. So that's taking a precious time. That's taking time that you don't have from you throwing. And the power, you really have to load that back foot to get everything into it, to get your hips into it, and just so you're not throwing with all arm. There are good quarterbacks that have strong arm that can play with just throwing with all arm. I think I even had a great college career, not always using my body. But now, if you use your body, it's just so accurate and so fluent.
Yeah, because you're moving up a level of football like everyone
Right.
else is moving up, and the gap in competition gets a lot smaller in terms of
Absolutely.
you're not the best athlete on the field anymore.
Mhm.
You got 11 other guys, and you got some guys who weigh 100 pounds more than you who are going to be in your face,
That's right.
or at your back at a
That's
level
right.
as streamlined as you can be, and I think that's what I think a lot of people miss, a lot of fans miss, is that how streamlined everyone's technique and game has to get to
Hmm.
that next level.
Yeah, you will never stop learning in life, and that's the same thing with football. There's a reason why Peyton Manning go down to Duke every year. They go with Coach Cutcliffe. He probably won't know more. I don't know. He's done, but
Right.
he went there every summer, and that was pretty. There's a reason why he does that, so he can learn and get better.
That's right. That's
And
right.
he's
I
one of
mean,
the greatest.
yep, a master craftsman, and this is a craft, this is definitely a craft. So you've got some double A gap pressure here, it looks like.
Yeah, we got double A gap. We should be picked up though. Right now, I knew this is one of those plays where you don't get mad often, and things happen in the game. You mess up sometimes. So, but this was a touchdown pass right here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have the corner playing inside shade, so it's a one-on-one.
Yes, we got everything that we want.
Yeah. So
It's basically my man versus your man, and I know that my receivers are telling. This is my best receiver, Brandon Ravenel, right here, and I know he's going to win. So I know this is a pick and stick matchup. If I pre-snap, I see man-to-man coverage. I see inside leverage with that cornerback. I know that my receiver has a vertical route, but I told you my receivers are so creative. So he turned this into like an out and up just to get that corner to bite, which was brilliant. And right now is a pick and stick opportunity. I know that I got pressure coming, and I already picked my man, and I'm throwing the ball. And that's what you got to do at the next level of the NFL, especially when it's pressure and you know it's man to man. It ain't no reading. That's over with.
Yeah.
When you got man to man, it's about picking and sticking.
And this was one of those plays where that high snap, I'll say it, the high snap is probably the difference, one of the differences between you getting that ball off and you getting hit while you're in the act of trying to throw it.
Yeah.
I mean, my other question would be, in addition to that, and that happens, the snap gets high, you had to leave your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, in hindsight, let me ask you this, I look at this and think, yeah, you obviously the play action is to help, bait the defense on this play.
Right.
But did you ever look at this and ask yourself, knowing that the snap being high, would it have made sense for me to forego the play fake on this and just set up and go?
No, because we should be picked up. They are bringing 6, and we have 6 blockers. So we're actually they bring in 5, and
Yeah.
we have 6 guys blockers. So we should be picked up. And that fake is not anything long. Usually I'll take my time faking, but obviously with the high snap and my receiver open right now, it was more like just getting my body just prepared to throw, to fake and throw.
Yeah.
But no, I would do it the same way. If I could do it again, I would do it the same way.
That makes sense.
Obviously, if I knew I was going to get hit, I'd probably speed it up a little bit more.
Right. But sometimes some of these, when you have an overload inside, or you have not an overload, but you have 2 guys coming inside like this, that sometimes that's going to, things are going to break down inside. And that's what happened a little bit here on this particular play. In terms of your guard and, moving on and making the decision that you have here, and then you're back having to pick it up. But yeah, I mean, I can see exactly what you mean by, look, you knew you have to trust your blocks.
Yeah.
You have to trust your protection, and you did. And, fortunately, the only thing that happened there was an incomplete pass. So,
yeah,
you get another chance, you get fight to live another day, and here comes the other day.
That's right. So we got cover 4 right here, pre-snap. What concept is this? Oh, this is the same concept as on the first drive where we have the option route by the number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
But again, I told you that we even in cover 4, when they get tight into the red zone, that corner don't have a lot of room to. He don't have a lot of room to run if that receiver run vertical, because that receiver gonna run out of room. So that cornerback kind of get antsy. So I know I can't lead my slot receiver out too far, or he'll get dinged in the head, and probably let him. I put it inside, which was the bad ball placement of this play. It was bad ball placement.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, but it's, again, it's a decision that you made that it seems to me like it was almost I could almost term that a cautious decision,
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that corner, man. If I would have threw that out, just looking at it even now, had to potentially be a bad play. So it's kind of one of those good incompletions, honestly.
Yeah.
Don't force that. We're in field goal range. It's okay.
Yeah, because worst case scenario here, if this is a little high, a little too high, or it bounces off the receiver's hand, number 4, you're in a race with number 4 to the end zone. so yeah, that totally makes sense to me. I mean, and again, it's, there's a level of quick decision making that has to happen also in this area. You have to, I mean, can you discuss, I mean, there's one of the things that I've talked about looking at other people's games and saying that, once you're inside the 20 and you're compressed in this area of the field, that the decision making has to get quicker. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I would agree because those defenders don't have to drop back as far as they would if they was on the 50-yard line. So things get compressed, and honestly, that's where a lot of turnovers and bad plays happen because quarterbacks are just trying to force, and the defense are trying to funnel you in to make a bad decision.
Yeah, and that just puts more emphasis on, pretty much every process that you do just has to be fast and has to be
Hmm.
crisp, and that just, that's interesting. And another question I want to ask from you. I mean, I used to be a musician, so as a musician, I used to, a lot of the practicing that I would do, and I used to. One of my favorite musicians was a player who I used to play a saxophone. He used to play. Guy
Right.
played on over like 800 albums during his career, um, and he was an incredibly like gifted technician who could play really fast if he wanted to. But I always learned from musicians that it was practicing things slow helped them do things really fast and precise. Do you find that? Do you ever find yourself practicing things on that level where it's really slowed down at a level that even feels kind of uncomfortable, but are there coaches that do that type of thing at all?
Yeah, a lot of coaches do that. It's certainly something where when you first start doing something new, you can't go full speed because then you start building bad habits. So even me, I got injured this season, and just getting back into running and things like that. I gotta go slow. I can't take it fast because now my body has been used to moving a certain way for 3 months or 2 months when I was in a boot. And now I'm trying to teach my body all over again what to do, and I certainly can't go fast doing that stuff.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me how much patience athletes really have to exhibit on a
Absolutely.
regular basis, especially football players, because of the injury factor and dealing with injury.
Right.
It's definitely a test. So here we are. We're early second quarter. Still got the lead,
Yeah. Still.
and
So
this
we got
is
a, we got a we got a flood concept right here.
yeah. So discuss this flood concept because I think this is how you and I ended up having our first conversation
Yeah.
because of this play I
Yeah.
put on earlier in the year.
Well, I got everything that I want right here. That quarters defender, that linebacker, outside linebacker, he is not in position to get up under my corner route. So I know I got the number one receiver has we call it inside nine. He's trying to get inside of that corner so that corner can turn and run with him. And then this safety, I know it's pretty much man to man. And I know that my receiver again is better. Obviously, I believe in my receiver, so I'm not trying to say that SMU has bad players or anything, but I believe in my guys, and that's one of the things as a quarterback you got to. So I think that my receiver gonna win. My number two receiver, he's on a corner route, so he always want to keep it high, and I will throw him down. So on this illustration, I think he broke. He got a good angle right now. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And right now, I'm throwing it where his angle should be going and not straight down the line. Right now, he's going kind of straight down the line. But
Gotcha.
but
But
he
he
was
had the room. Yeah.
yeah. I was able to put enough air on it where we both were right, and that's right, at the end of the day, it's a completion, and it's a big completion too.
Yeah. It's a
That was a
nice
great catch, though.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a nice play here. I mean, I really like you said, you hold the action long. I like how you do that. It's just really nice to see that level of detail and to bait the defense that way. And to me, this is where the confidence in this is where I look at you as a quarterback and I say, okay, to people who say, okay, he runs the ball well, I'll say that's a nice fail-safe option because it gives you that added confidence that that I can extend the play well, I can act it out, and prolong that acting so that I can afford myself opportunities like this.
All right.
And it's a nice adjustment in the face of pressure too to put a little air under it.
Yeah, you got to be able to sit in there and make a throw, and I think that's one of my strengths, being able to make a throw while I got pressure in my face.
When did you know that you were okay at doing that? Like when? like how early on did you know? Because I always tell people it's hard to. It seems to me that that's a hard thing. Either you have
It
that
is.
or you don't.
It is, and that's something that I don't think you really learn in high school because I was such a good athlete that I was able to just run if if guys are in my face. But then playing in the ACC at Georgia Tech, and obviously those guys playing against guys like Aaron McDonald from Pittsburgh and Shaq from Clemson,
Yeah,
Vic Beasley, playing with those guys, Quentin Coples, playing against those guys. Yeah, you gotta be able to sit in there, and you can't run. You can't always take off and think that's gonna work. Early on in my career, I tried that and it didn't work. so
yeah,
that's something that I got better at over time. And I think my senior year, I really mastered it. My junior year was kind of like learning it because that's when I came to JMU and just started passing the ball a little bit more than what I was used to. So my senior year, I think I got pretty good at and comfortable in knowing how much time I have.
yeah. I think you anchor in there pretty well, and that's cool to know because I wonder when that transition comes because to me it's like how do you know? How do you know until you do get decked a few times by some big guys whether or not it just clicks? I mean,
Well, one of the biggest things is having a plan. If you know if you can read defenses pre-snap, then you are a confident quarterback. Right now, I feel like in this play, I was very confident in knowing what defense I had. Knowing that it would be man to man, and I know when my receiver is going to break. So the pressure don't matter. I know that where I'm going with the ball right now, and I know I got to throw it. And sometimes you got to improvise when something break down and somebody's in your face. But at the end of the day, I knew where I wanted to attack the defense, and that stuff comes with pre-snap.
yeah.
So that's how you get good at it. You don't worry about it. You got to know your job description and know where you want to go with the ball.
And that makes sense because if you're attacking, it was funny. I heard, John Gruden the other day, watching ESPN with him with Jared Goff, and they were looking at some of the RPO concepts that they do, and where he was throwing into pressure,
Yeah,
and Goff was like, I was holding on to that as long as I could because I knew what I had, and that
right.
totally fits what you're saying. Is if you have a plan and you know what you're going to do, you're thinking about the great what that great result could be and you're focused solely on that.
hmm Confidence.
Yeah,
And that takes a lot. That takes a lot of failure sometimes to even get to that level.
yeah, yeah. And that's I definitely want to talk about that a little bit more as we get further into this. All right, so now we got a design run, nice
Yeah,
little change of
that's a
direction.
read. So my running back can get it, or I can keep it. Um, just making a play right here, reading the defense. That Mike, as you can see pre-snap, this is actually a play that I checked. So this was a design outside zone run to the running back. But if you look at the box, the mic is outside. The mic is right over the tackle. He's outside the tackle. The other guy inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's outside the tackle. So I know we also got a play where I can fake the outside zone and I can run the ball. And I'm trying to get that Mike to run with the running back, and I'm trying to just replace where he came from. So this is a play that I started checking, and this was a successful play, which is why I had 275 yards rushing because that Mike was just out of place.
Yeah. And tell me, because I don't see him move very much on this
He,
play. Do you?
uh,
What do you?
this wasn't even a replay. I checked it pre-snap.
Okay.
It was pre-snap. He was outside of the tackle.
That's
So
right. You just knew. Yeah.
I just knew that any little fake that I give, he gotta respect going outside. So his body demeanor is going out, and I'm running straight. So
Nice.
that was a great block.
Yeah. That was really nice. A nice acceleration here. I mean, I like how you pick through traffic. Obviously that, it's a nice patient run and you're reading what you see coming inside and getting out. And there's a nice little job splitting your blocks here and just taking the corner.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I love how you explained that read, because you saw that to be able to show the difference between that pre-snap and seeing that his
Yeah,
position that you had at one right away.
yeah, and that was one of the plays that my coach, my offense coordinator, was so proud of me because that was not a game plan deal. That was me understanding the box count, the box read, understanding cover four, quarters, and who's supposed to be where. And I'm like, man, that Mike is just getting too far out there, and we're not going to run outside zone if we only have one linebacker to worry about in the box. I can just run it up the middle.
Well, congratulations on that. That's a really nice play.
Thank you.
All right, so moving forward here, let's see. Now we got another red zone play, 1st and 3.
Yeah, I told you my coach was proud of me on the last play. He probably was uh, scratching his head on this. Uh, this is me, and again, my coach gave me freedom, so he don't get upset when I change the play or check a play. But this is a run play, and I got a 6'4" receiver who weigh about 225. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna give him a shot at a jump ball. So this is me getting a little greedy, but also they overloading the box. That safety is getting in there, so I'm like, man, take the 1-on-1.
So what would what would be the other option, that if you were going to stage an argument with yourself watching film and going, okay, let me question my decision on this, what would have been the other alternative that you would have considered, even if you ultimately would have stuck with this play the
Oh,
way
I
you
would
did
have
it?
just stuck with the play and ran the ball. It was a running back play. But I think that me and my receiver could have could have ran like that. That defender is in a great position, so I can't go anywhere with the ball. I couldn't put it anywhere. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to throw it outside. I feel like my receiver was going to win outside and be able to be a jump ball position, but it was just bad. So.
Yeah, it's an anticipation play, and certainly you see, I mean, your receiver's trying to get outside there, but he gets
Yeah,
held up a little bit.
yeah.
And there's a little jersey pull right there.
Yeah,
That
and at that point, when you make a decision where you're going with the ball, it's like you can't take it back. So you still got to try to throw it in a place. And we ended up getting the flag, which is
yeah,
good.
yeah, you got the benefit. You still got the benefit of that there.
Yeah, so it's not all bad.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we can do moving forward here. And it still ended with a kick, so that's not bad.
Yeah,
Another nice touch play there. Give him a nice
great
room.
blocking. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. And he did a nice job of making the first man miss.
Yeah, as
All
a
right.
quarterback, you got to love up on those guys when those receivers are getting they nose bloody and getting in there, getting dirty. You got to love that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So
Oh,
this is a nice look at some progression reads here.
yeah, this is a full field concept. I started in the boundary with my single receiver. Um, if I'm mistaken, I'm trying to remember the play, but I think he had a bang eight again, and um, yeah, he had a bang eight. That safety, he's getting beat up pre-snap. My receiver is a little bit, so I knew I had to come off that. And we had curl flat in the boundary, or just a curl in the on the backside, and he had a high access corner, meaning that he got to respect everything deep from that number one receiver. Um, and he kept running, and my receiver was open.
Yeah. And there he goes, heading back and turning and running a little bit. And then meanwhile, with you in the pocket, I mean, you're getting a little pressure off the edge here. I mean, do you feel that? I mean, do you see that on the periphery? I mean, like right now you're looking at it and you see that coming there. So maybe that's not a good example for me to ask you that question, but
Well,
you
I
start to
don't even
turn.
think I was looking at the pressure. I think I was looking at my receiver in the boundary. That's something that you feel. That's something that you don't look at. If my receiver was open, I'll still be looking this way. But I knew that I had to get the ball out, and I knew I had a curl in the boundary, and that's basically man to man again. In cover four, when that receiver go vertical, that corner basically turned into man to man. So.
Yeah. Tell me how you feel pressure in the pocket? I mean, is it something where you know where your blocks are supposed to be set up, and a combination of timing, or is it a
Yeah. It takes a lot of practice. So this one we had our guard pull for that guy. So I knew that my guard would be back a little bit, but I knew he would catch that guy. That guy is essentially coming free until that guard come and get in position. So I knew where the guard will be, and yeah, it's just something that you feel. I don't really know how to explain it. That's one beautiful thing about quarterback. You can't explain everything
yeah?
because at the end of the day, it comes about making plays and feeling things. It's an art.
Yeah, it really is, and it's funny because I mean, when people say feel pressure, it's hard sometimes for people to understand that, and I think that's what makes quarterbacking so difficult to
Right.
evaluate and so difficult to play because there are so many disparate parts to playing the game
Right.
that have to be tied together. You can have guys who do 18 different things really well,
Right.
but they could do it really well separately. But if they don't tie it all together, it's the guys who tie the most things together in a way in almost every situation that really play at a high level.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll keep moving along here.
So another read play. It's more like this play changed the responsibility for the running back and the quarterback. So usually on your typical zone read, the running back would be going inside, running in the C, running in the front side A gap. But now this changed the responsibility, and the quarterback in the typical zone, the quarterback will be the outside guy. But this changed the running back and the quarterback responsibility. Now the running back is the outside guy, and the quarterback is designed to hit the hole. And I'm always looking for that sideline.
You did a good job there with that. I mean, you have a nice change of direction too. I mean, obviously, again, the flexibility in the hips to be able to make those moves and bounce things, you know, that's definitely beneficial to have. And I mean, you're a good sized guy, I mean, as a quarterback as well. I mean, what's your weight at this
uh,
stage?
I played at 225, and I'm about 220 now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's about Aaron Rodgers size.
So we got like man free. Got some pressure. One thing about man, if nobody looking at that quarterback, and there's nobody in the middle of the field right now.
Yeah.
So pre-snap, I know that, but I'm not looking to run. That's just in the back of my mind. If things break down, right now I'm looking for my tight end coming across, and he really is not in front of him, and I can go outside. I really wanted to throw this to the outside guy right now. So if you go right there.
Yeah.
I really wanted to throw it, and this is not a pump fake by design. It was more a pump fake, like that corner is coming down really hard, and by the time that ball get there, it might be a bad play. He might drop it, or the corner might just blow him up. So
Yeah.
actually, like that ball was coming out, and I was happy to hold on to it, but just to let you know, I ain't want to run this play, but I just seen that corner in position to really come down and drive. So I'm like, man, it's better off that I run the ball.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to bring it down like that.
Yeah,
And the
and that's
benefit
what
of
we
it
can
was
do.
is that, the benefit is a violent pump fake.
Yeah, yeah, it's a split decision. Decision you just got to go with.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw this bubble. So um, this is another zone read where I can throw the bubble. Um, those guys get out of position, but that safety is coming down super hard. So I'm like, nope, I got to pull it and run it.
Yep. And I would call those tough yards. I mean, you didn't get pounded on this play, but you're going to have to deal with the safety, and you're probably going to have to split two defenders to get some yards here. But
Right.
that works out, and it's a nice positive gain. I mean, this is what you probably would have been happy with if you threw the ball and it was
Yeah.
open.
Yeah. Exactly.
Once again, nice. I like how you dip the shoulders, but you're still looking downfield. And here we go with it.
So we got the flood concept again. And that time they played it. They played it a lot better. They seen it obviously before, but I knew that this was a throw that I had to bring my receiver back down, which I did. If I didn't, that could have been intercepted.
Yeah.
But like the first play, I could lead him upfield. This play, I couldn't. Now I had to bring him down, and probably just incomplete. It was good defense.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good throw. My receiver had a chance to catch the ball. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you did what you could do, and you mitigated a loss.
Yeah.
So it's and you did it all from a pretty tight pocket, I would say.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
All right, good. So let's move on here.
2-by-2 set. Like it's cover on 4 again. Maybe cover. Yeah, cover 4. So
yeah,
same type play. My tight end get inside of that backer, that quarters defender, and yeah, bang him. Soon you get out the break.
Yeah.
That was 3rd down, so I knew that we needed to get some positive yards. So that was my first read, and I stuck with him because it's man to man, and he won inside.
Yeah. There's decent anticipation there. We'll take a look at that. So you got, and I still like that, even though as you've said, that you work more on your footwork as it goes. If when I was watching you, I thought, okay, not even knowing what you're working on or not. When I was watching, I was thinking, I still like that in these types of sets, you're still trying to, move your feet and get into a position as opposed to just kind of like taking a step back and shuffling. There's actually a plan there with your footwork.
Yeah, I thought that was that demonstrate good footwork right there. And not all my footwork was bad, but I know that's something that I gotta improve and be consistent on, and something that I don't want people to question me about.
Yeah, well, I know one thing. I don't know a quarterback entering the draft that I've seen in several years who doesn't have to work on that.
Right.
So, I mean, that's, join the club.
Right. Oh man, this is like the mystery play right here. What the heck is that?
Yeah.
That's a play. So early on in the game, we started throwing those 3-step. I told you, look, it's like hitches, where we read the backer and the slot guy run like a 3-step. So this is a play that was drawn up on the sideline, and we never practiced it or anything. And don't get me wrong, I shouldn't have threw it, but it was miscommunication. I thought the slot receiver was going to pump fake and then come out and not go straight. So he went straight, and I was throwing out. And then the corner at the bottom, he just reading me. So it was just me and my coach struggled after this one, because my coach said he felt bad that we did something that we never practiced. But then I also felt bad for throwing something up for grabs, basically, some that I shouldn't have did. Never make a bad play worse, and that's what in this case I made a bad play even worse.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, thrown in the middle of the field and throwing it high. That's I don't think I've seen you do that many times.
No, and you can even tell by my footwork. It's kind of like a little confusion there. That was not a confident throw. That was more of I see pressure, I feel pressure. We said this play was going to work. All the slot have to do is pump and go, and it was just miscommunication on where he will be at after he pumped.
Yeah. And obviously, you look at plays like this and it's like if if every time I saw you in a situation where you were either in the red zone or you were in a situation where um, you had the choice to take the more cautious route or to try and be the hero, and you were always trying to be the hero, that would be a bigger red flag. But I mean, it seems to me like, we've already seen some plays demonstrated where you've been cautious with your approach. You've mitigated losses. This just happened to be one of those that got away from you.
Yeah, it was a new play. Just was not a confident um, play for me. But you got to come back.
Yep, absolutely.
So this is before half, and yeah, we got the ball back. So just trying to getting probably in field goal range. Yeah, we got 12 seconds. Um, Another man-to-man situation, pick and stick. That's my best receiver, number 11. Um, and that's one where he stopped short, which we have the option to do if the DB is over top or whatever. But that's a back shoulder that I was throwing.
Okay.
So a little bit another miscommunication.
Okay. So what are I mean, what are the common things that you look for that you're looking at when you have miscommunications like this that that you try and shore up with your receiver? I mean, this is the type of thing that I imagine you working on consistently throughout the week.
Yeah, well, that's something where that we handle on the sideline in a fashionably manner, and something that as a quarterback you got to take control of it and let people know what you want, almost really, or let people know what you see. So no big deal. It was just us trying to make plays before half, trying to get some points.
Sure. And we got you, running at that end of the half here after, deciding that was the best option. We'll head to the third quarter. And this is an interesting play. Let's see.
Safety's creeping up. So yes, they brought the pressure right here.
Yes.
They brought the pressure, and instead of taking a sack, I see that safety coming down to my slot receiver who I threw it to, but I also knew that he could catch it before he get there and possibly make a miss instead of me taking a sack.
Okay. Because I know it was funny. I asked Mark before we got on the air. I said, Vad's going to come on today. You have any questions for Vad about this?
Yeah.
And he mentioned this play, and he said, yeah, he wanted to know. He was like, and I think he pretty much answered it earlier on, which was he wanted to know. He saw the vertical slot being open, and he wondered if this was a one read situation or you had the option.
No, this is a pass play. This is a full field read. And so right now, my first read is the bubble. My second read would be this number 2 slot receiver on the other side coming across the field.
Okay.
And my third read would be the curl by the receiver to the left, and then so it's 4 options on this play. But obviously, I seen and felt a free guy coming, so I'm like, man, I can't take a sack. I could have threw it out of bounds, but also I got a receiver right there who's standing close to out of bounds, so I might can give him the ball, and he might can make somebody miss. So
Yeah.
this was me just trying to get rid of the ball, and I think we ended up getting back to the line of scrimmage almost.
Yeah, you gained a yard. I mean, so. Oh no, you got back to the line. There you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right.
So we got 3rd and 8. So we know the situation.
And this is where, this is obviously once things get off structure and you have to create. I like this. I mean, obviously, it doesn't turn out in your favor.
It's just unfortunate that it got
Yeah.
tipped and intercepted. For some reason, early on, I had bad luck with tip balls, and it's something that me and my coaches joked about. But anytime a ball got tipped last year, it was just like, man, it's going straight to the defender hand.
Yeah, but still, I like the way that you're able to create space here in the pocket. Obviously, you try to climb first. The defender comes looping around, you're able to, work away, and you realize you see the defender screaming up towards the flat, so time to roll back around. But I kind of also like how that I wanted to ask you this. Why did you decide, instead of rolling back around to the opposite side of the field, you decided, okay, I'm not gonna work back here?
Yeah, I didn't see nobody coming, and it was not like I was getting pressure, a lot of pressure front side. Also, the angle of the guy that I made miss, he was coming to the right. So you got three guys over there. So it's like, why am I spinning when I can just? It's almost like I got another pocket. I created another pocket for myself. So right here, I'm like, no, there's no need to spin. Nobody is really attacking me. I can keep my eyes downfield, look for a receiver.
And I love that, because I mean, you do see a lot of guys, even in the NFL, who have your ability to make someone miss in the pocket and move. It, you know, you you decide to try and just play within the confines as much as you can there, and it's a nice throw on the move. I mean,
Yeah,
bounces off the
usually
helmet,
when you
but
spin,
you know,
usually when you spin because a guy's coming backside from behind you.
yeah,
But nobody was coming from behind me, so I'm like, no, no, really need for me to spin.
yeah.
And yeah, it bounced off on my receiver helmet, and yeah,
But it's where that's within general range of what you're looking for. So I mean,
yeah.
that's just
I think if you hit your target helmet, I think your coach would be all right with
yeah, I
that.
think so, right? I'm sure number 37 wish he had it back. So
Oh yeah, we all have those plays.
yep, that's the game, And then we have plays like this. So
Yeah,
yeah, and I mean, you did a nice job of looking downfield and kind of setting people up and being able to find that opening. You find that open ground pretty well.
get out of bounds.
Yeah, a nice little stiff arm. That's good.
This is a
No.
touchdown.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. No.
no, not yet.
So this is also a run play. Something that I got kind of creative. Something that I just started doing. Just taking what the defense give me, and we started running 5 yard outs. I told my receivers, I think before this game, let's start running 5 yard outs, because usually sometimes we run hitches on the boundary. And I'm like, well, when you run a hitch, that corner can really come down and tackle the guy, and he really don't have a chance. But if you run a 5 yard out, then everything is like you're saving your receivers,
Yeah,
and it's more efficient, because if that corner really trigger down, then you can throw it out of bounds, or you can throw it close to the sideline where just your receiver making a play.
and it's a nice way to mix things up too. If your opponent's used to you throwing hitches like that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah.
So this is an all-out blitz, cover zero. This is a check where I know if I get this coverage, we have basically a slot set where the two outside receivers are running 6 yard ends, and the number 3 receiver is running a corner, because he have great leverage on that safety. This is a play that we hit a lot. Just didn't hit it this time.
Yeah.
But this is not a design call. This is a check. That's made. I think we had a run play on, but obviously we want to score. If a team is gonna, I almost look at this as disrespectful.
Right. Sure.
If you want to bring everybody, and you saying that we got to beat you passing the ball, then sure, I want to take on that challenge.
So again, question of Vadley here and Vadley we're talking to today, as if you're two people, past and present right now.
Yeah.
Anything now that you've been working more on your footwork, would there be anything different on this player? Would you say, based on the pressure, you're still probably just having to get rid of it as fast as you can in this situation?
I want to say that because of all the things that I've been working on, that maybe my front foot will be more to the target. But I also want to say that because of the pressure, and because I know how important it is to get the ball out, sometimes you can't get your body set in place every play, especially when pressure is right in your face.
Yeah.
So this is a thing where I know they send in more than we can block. So this footwork, a lot of people would ding me on this, but this footwork is I'm getting back. I'm like shuffling back. I'm not dropping.
Yeah.
This is me trying to get to the firm side of my protection where my linemen, as you see, my linemen are sliding left. So I'm trying to slide left. I'm not trying to just drop back straight. I'm trying to slide left to where they are. So a lot of people, a lot of analysts and things, they don't some people just don't understand that sometimes, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, it's about where that ball landed up at.
Yeah. And where that ball ended up was on his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know that Dan Marino had made this statement a lot, in the past. He said, if I were to evaluate quarterbacks, I would make them throw passes like these on a regular basis in workouts, to see how accurate they are in these situations, because I'd want to see that just as much as I see those set plays.
Yeah, and I talk to guys like Pep Hamilton, and he's the offense coordinator or the quarterback coach for the Browns, and they want to have guys that sometimes you can't coach. You want to have a quarterback that do things that you can't coach, and I think right now they got a good one in RG3, and I feel like that sometimes I can bring things that you really can't coach.
Yeah, and that's so important. I mean, it is. It's really it's handling that plays when they break down. That's as equally important as being able to handle things on a schedule and as designed. You're the leader, so you have to account for when things don't work out, and they're not always things that don't work out because you didn't do something.
Right.
But that was a sweet little play here.
Yeah, that was the same play. That was, again, I checked that play. That was, again, the outside zone play that I told you about earlier.
Yeah,
where that might get too far out. And right here, it was just a read. I'm reading that guy, and he blitzed on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll go to C gap. The C gap went upfield, tackled the running back, got to pull it, and they over pursued.
Nice. One step too far.
Yeah.
All right. It's a nice play. Don't want to minimize, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
All right.
So Bubble is there. Their safety is so far back. Now it's just one-on-one. That's what we like right there. And my receiver made a miss, and they just got some fast guys that made the play. But if that number 11 won there, that was a touchdown.
Yeah, 2nd and 5 works.
So right here, I got a little creative. Again, a lot of freedom. I got creative. I told my receiver, the number 1 receiver, to act like you're gonna block the corner, but go past them. And it's one of those things you just kind of get a feel for the game. And I knew that we was throwing the bubble, and the last play we just had a lot of success on it. So I'm like, man, that corner and that safety might bite up. And the corner bit up, but the safety did a great job of getting in the way. So at this point, I knew that I didn't want to risk any bad play. So I'm trying to obviously get a flag, but just put it over my receiver head to throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, and you can even see from your behavior the little bit of the ball kind of just clap against the other hand. As you're about to pull the ball back, you see the safety, and then it just comes back in.
Yeah, I was just faking the bubble. I wanted to fake the bubble, and then throw the number 1 receiver. But the safety did a good job.
Yeah.
So I knew that at this time the play was dead.
Yeah. Smart call.
It's the touchdown.
No, a little more running first. All right, here we go. I think this might be it. I think.
So it looked like a cover 2. Looked like cover 2, yeah. Yeah, so pre-snap Pre-snap, I believe I read that as cover two, and the middle of the field is wide open. Look how far that safety is off. So right now, I'm thinking I'm gonna hit my tight end. This is Tampa 2. I'm gonna hit my tight end down the middle because he's running against a Mike backer. Right now, I'm looking at my tight end, and it doesn't look like he was winning late. But
Yeah.
by winning late, it draw that safety to come in over him. So by reading the area, I feel that safety come over my tight end. So now I know that the safety is not over top of the number one receiver, and it's supposed to be cover two, right? And so
Yeah.
I know that my receiver has to be open because that corner is now playing trail technique in cover two because he didn't have nobody working to work, so he could play trail technique. But you get it out in front, touchdown.
Yeah. Very nice read. Yeah, that had to feel good.
Yeah, that felt that felt good, especially the speculation, pre-snap speculation. So if you go back, I'm looking right because that safety is so far off the hash. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to work my tight end open even more. So if you go back to the other angle where they show me my eyes, I tried to look right to get my tight end open more, but my tight end was winning so late that so right here,
Yeah.
I look right to get that safety even more. Now I come back to my tight end, and
Yeah.
and now I see the safety over top. So now I go back to the receiver. So this was a lot of reading involved in this play, but it gotta happen so fast.
Yeah, but that's nice. I mean, you see guys like you mentioned Peyton Manning. You see guys like Manning do this. I remember watching him against the Saints in the Super Bowl where he'd look at his first read, go back to one side, but then come back to that read again, and then end up making the throw and baiting that safety.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't on a throw like this, but yeah, that's nice. He would have liked doing that.
Yeah.
He has plenty of times too. Let's see. All right.
So another design screenplay. Get some yards, get some positive yards.
Yep. And I mean, you guys keep hanging on to this lead. They're coming back, but you guys, you're trading blows with them and continuing to keep the pace.
Can't be conservative. So right here, this is kind of like a goal line situation. Usually in the goal line, when you have your receivers running across, you want to throw them down because you want to protect them. So right here, we got 3rd and 5. I know where the sticks are. My receiver has the option route. See that Mike backer just standing there reading my eyes. I know I got to put it in a place where he can catch it.
Yeah.
Only him and without getting banged.
Yeah, and it's a nice job. It's in the back hip, and it's low. It just doesn't come down with it.
Yeah.
All right, but here we are. All right, so we got a 3-point game now.
So yeah, I think I checked the run into it again because I seen that they bringing the outside pressure. So this was just a check that I'm gonna run up the middle. If you're gonna send your guys outside, we gonna bring the blocks outside to secure me up the middle. So we're just kicking out. We just got 2 blockers kicking out almost.
Nice.
Great block by my boy Austin Lane.
All right, so here we go.
So we got the middle of the field is open, and now our coach did a great job of. We've been running that outside zone play a lot this game, and we just faked it and sent our tight end up the middle.
Yeah, nice little pulling action by the guard.
Yep, so we got that boundary safety down because mostly I've been running or the running back been running out. So now we got him easy stealing.
Yeah. Nice throw. Give him room to just make the adjustment.
Yeah, you don't want to miss those.
And onward to Cheatham.
Yes, sir. Dean Cheatham. Coach Cheatham now.
Really now?
Yeah, he's coaching for JMU. So I always call him Coach. It's funny calling him Coach Cheetah.
Good on him. And that's nice. I mean, especially when you're up by 3 to get a little bit more breathing room here. But
Yeah. This is a design. This is a read play. So reading that C gap, number 92. He went upfield, so it's a pull.
yeah, it was a nice job with that. All right, so where are we at here? We got 8:05. Nice quick throw to the numbers here, but
Yep. Good defense.
yep. All right, so moving along, got our empty set.
Yep. So empty. Sent the protection to the Mike side. So we got the man side on the left, and the slide side to the right.
Okay.
So I think we got that option route by a slot receiver again. He can go in or out, and I'm glad that he went in. And this is like a little touch pass in front, get it in front.
And it's a nice play. I mean, this is a pass of underrated difficulty right here.
Oh yeah,
Because you're trying to find a throwing lane at this stage.
yeah. You don't want to get the ball tipped, and it's not a deep drop. All you're doing is really just catching and throwing and getting what feel comfortable and getting him the ball.
Yeah, and one of the things I really do like about your game, that is that even if your feet aren't in like perfect position on plays, or in where you have to make adjustments or shuffle or do some of those things, just like quarterbacks that that we've seen come out in the draft in recent years, you're able to make throws from awkward platforms.
Yeah, I've got really good at that, and I think even dating back to my Georgia Tech time, Georgia Tech is not known to pass the football. So when we do pass, our linemen sometimes you might get a lot of pressure in your face. So you got to find a way to. And at Georgia Tech, every time I got a pass call, I wanted to find a way to pass the ball so people can know that I can pass the ball. So I think that's something that I built at my time at GT, because when it was a pass play call. I was gonna throw the ball because it won't many.
I hear you, and I understand. And you were a top prospect coming out. I
Yes,
mean, certainly coming out there. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, I mean, what attracted you to Tech in the first place? Like, just in terms
um,
of.
I knew the academic standards was really high, the academic ceiling, and if you can get a degree from Georgia Tech, you can pretty much do anything that you want to do. And my parents really loved that setup. I think they did a really great job of recruiting me. I got pretty close with the recruiting coordinator there, and I was the #1 recruit on their board. And early on, teams I was just really disappointed, not disappointed, but kind of heartbroken by the North Carolina schools. Obviously, me and Coach David Cutcliffe at Duke have a tremendous and great relationship. But at the time, being from Durham, I didn't see myself staying in Durham. So I feel like I didn't give them the fair share that they should have. And if I could do it over, I probably would. Coach Cutcliffe, Coach Peyton, and Eli. But it's a blessing that. At the end of the day, I did Duke Pro Day, and I ended up being with Coach Cutcliffe at the end of my career. But then at Carolina, UNC had Butch Davis at the time, and I don't think he was sold on me playing quarterback. And then NC State they was going through the Russell Wilson deal, and I'm a big Russell Wilson fan, and I was disappointed when they let him go, and I was like, man, they're gonna let him go, but they want me. It was just like I didn't know what. So after the North Carolina schools, I was lost, and Georgia Tech came in, did a great job of recruiting me. Said I was their guy, I was their quarterback, and they spill me, the story where, they want to pass the ball more, and they never had a guy like me that could run and pass. So being in high school, I'm like, yeah, playing in the ACC, playing against top talent, get to come home every year and play a North Carolina school, and they want to pass the ball more. I think I can make that work.
Sure.
So it was something where I thought that I was going into a situation where we was going to do a little bit more passing. Um,
Sure. And it just worked out the way it did. So,
yeah, yeah.
and here's one of your
Again,
tip balls. Yeah.
yeah. this, this is, man.
Well, I can tell you based on your story that I'll joke around that my wife who went to UNC, um, she's probably pretty happy that you didn't go to Duke. So, like that matters at all. But
Yeah.
my wife has joked with me that if we ever, if we had another kid and we had a boy who ended up being an athlete, she was telling me now, she's like, if he goes to Duke, you're gonna have to move out of the house and live with him because it's not happening in my household. So
I grew up a Tar Heel fan, and that's where I wanted to go. So when Carolina, when their coach wasn't sold on me coming there, that really broke my heart. But I can tell you that I've gained a lot of interest in Duke, and I'm starting to slowly become a Duke fan because of Coach Cutcliffe.
well, he's great.
He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
Can you tell us a little bit more? Because everyone knows that, in the public eye, that Cutcliffe is just such a, he's got such a great reputation for, being able to develop guys and his
Mm-hmm.
history with the Mannings, but also, I mean, I'm thinking about some of the Duke quarterbacks that have come out in recent years.
Yeah.
I like Sean Referee when I saw
Yeah.
Referee play. And he's backing up Matt Ryan right now in Atlanta, and I think he's on a development track that I think he could be pretty good. But what is it about him?
Another one is Thaddeus Lewis, who I talk to all the
Yes.
time. He's great. Duke was my first scholarship offer, and it's sometimes like the art of quarterback. Sometimes you can't explain why or what, but I tell you what, Coach Cutcliffe is one of those guys where you feel it, and he's just a tremendous person. Me being from Durham, he's always been a fan of mine and been pulling for me. Even when I was at Georgia Tech, we would talk, and we would email, and he would just keep in touch. And he didn't have to do that. I didn't choose Duke. I didn't choose to go to Duke. I choose to play against him, and he still found ways to just be a nice guy, and I really appreciate it.
That's great. That's a great story right there for sure. Yeah, Thaddeus Lewis, absolutely. Definitely a fine quarterback.
Yeah. So we got 2 minute drill. This is my favorite drill. It should be every quarterback's favorite drill in the world. When the game is on the line, you got less than 2 minutes to go score. You're down. This is me in the backyard all day.
And you're picking in this flat a lot. The first couple of throws here, you're getting that opening area, and you're.
Yeah, the first throw is I know that we need something positive. We need something positive to get everybody confidence going, to get everybody going to say, yeah, we can do this. So that first throw was just getting positive yards. I think we gained the first down from that. And then the second throw right here is the flat is open, another cover 4 read where we're working at quarters defender.
And what's interesting to me though too is the contrast with, really how calm you look at this point of the game compared to the beginning of the game. And a lot of people would be the exact opposite.
Yeah. Well, I that's why I said this is me all day in the backyard. This is why I play quarterback. Honestly, this right here is why I signed up to play quarterback because I knew situations like this would come, and I knew that I could handle it.
Yeah. Do you get excited at this point? Is this the point where you get excited about what's going on?
Internally, I do, but I don't show it. you as a quarterback, you got to be calm, and everybody is all routed up. I remember my teammates coming over to me and thinking that I was nervous, and I'm like, no, I'm just ready. They like, yeah, man, we got to go win. We got this, we got this, and I'm like, I'm the sense of calm because everybody, that's sometimes it's false. Sometimes oh yeah, we got this. Sometimes that's false because everybody's nervous.
Right.
But but I just kind of keep my cool during this time. It was I can remember like it was yesterday. It was a great moment for me, my college career, and my teammates.
It's funny too because every quarterback I see early in the game, you know, they get excited that adrenaline's flowing early, and then once they get into it, it's like, okay, now I'm in the zone.
Well, you got to think about it. We go a whole week without being hit, and then we come game on Saturday, we live. So your nerves and everything is just rolling. You're excited.
Yeah.
So this is a cool story. So we called the timeout. I actually, so the play before I checked to this play. My coach, my head coach, he's a defensive guy. I love him to death. Coach Everett Withers. He's at Texas State right now, and I think he was nervous. He called a timeout because he seen me checking, and he called a timeout. Came to the sideline. I was like, Coach, I really see something, and he was like, just stick with the play, just go with it. And I was like, no, Coach, I really believe that this play will work. And what I seen right here was the inside leverage of that safety on the number 3 receiver. Okay. And I knew that it had to be man to man. So again, this is one of those. We hit it early. You know the pass that tipped off my
yes.
Yeah, this is the same play, and I knew that if the safety was inside leverage, then we can win outside. Now, obviously, you got to be aware of that corner over there falling off. So during this play, that was the only thing that I was looking at. I knew that my receiver, obviously, I told you I'm confident in my receivers. I knew that he would win. It's his job to win. So I'm looking at that corner right now. That corner is flat-footed, sitting, looking dead at that number 1 receiver. So that's my confirmation. I had a little bit of speculation that goes to confirmation, and now I'm ready to roll.
Nice. Yeah, that's very nice. And it really is. It's a nice principle here of, I mean, I try to show people a lot with stuff that we do here, that I do here at the RSP, is just, position of where the position, showing you where man, or, if it's outside, it's more likely zone. If it's inside, it's more likely man. And the fact that you're looking at this corner is really interesting, that you're looking at this corner the whole time because you don't want him to pull off. So you're really looking off the corner instead of looking off the safety.
Right. And again, this was so this is usually just our no deep check. But this wasn't no deep because they didn't send all their guys. But I didn't want to risk it. So I slid my whole O-line to the left and put my running back onto the right. So of course people will say, oh, the footwork, but this is me sliding to the left where my firm side is. As you see, I'm sliding a little bit to the left. So it's not necessarily a drop. This is not a drop. This is me getting behind the firm side of my protection because we have a running back on the island over there, and that's not what they do all the time. So I got to get away from that.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you want to help him out as much as possible. So
right.
That makes total sense. And that's an interesting lesson, when it comes to, look, okay, we're calling, this is how you're going to be looking at the protection and what you're trying to do in relation to that.
Yeah, that pocket is better than me on the hash right now,
Yeah, because look at 30 coming open here.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you're throwing this ball right here, you've got 30 in your face. Yeah. And you're probably not getting this ball off as well as you have it here.
Right.
Excellent point. I'll show this whole thing. Obviously, we're going to show this whole thing, but I may even just isolate this one section of what we talked about as just a little bit of a preview to talk about protections, because that's just such an excellent point.
Yeah, protections are
what you're doing.
Important. And I'm blessed that I was able to protect myself in college. So when I get to the NFL, I think that'll be able to transition easy. Well, not easy, but I have a fundamental principle of how to protect myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So excellent game. And it
Mhm.
was a fun, I mean, it is. I mean, that's a great, like you said, that was a great moment in a career to be
Yeah.
able to do that. And it was an excellent game to go through with you. I personally got a chance to see a little bit more, especially this last point about protections that I thought that was
Mhm.
really interesting in terms of feel in the pocket and what you're looking at and what you're
Right.
not looking at. um, that was really cool to see. And uh, I just want to thank you again for having
Thank you. Yes,
having me on
sir.
the
Thank
show.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, this was fun. Anytime a quarterback got an opportunity to talk a little ball, I think is important, especially if you're confident in knowing the information. And I'm confident that I got a quarterback coach, Steve Wilson, who played in the NFL. He was a defensive back in the NFL for the Cowboys and Denver Broncos, and his quarterbacks was Roger Staubach and John Elway. So he loved, and then he went straight to being the head coach at Howard. So he is really intrigued by quarterbacks, and we've been going at it for the last 5 months ever since I've been hurt, injured, or whatever, ever since December. And I feel pretty confident in my preparation and going into a mini camp and and doing something special.
That's great. And I mean, what are some of the things that, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of the things that Mr. Wilson or Coach Wilson would, has counseled you about in terms of what to expect as you head into a camp, and what kind of contingencies you're looking at depending on where you're drafted, what happens, because I'm a believer, like a lot of my readers and listeners here know that I'm a believer in talent. I don't really look at where a guy's drafted. I don't think about what school he went to as a bullet
Right.
point, because to me that's just like resume bullet points. But whether you end up drafted and in the mid rounds and the earlier rounds and the later rounds, or as a free agent, are there things that he talks about with you about where you're drafted, or how you're selected and what that means to you?
Well, he went as an undrafted free agent himself, so he has one of the biggest things about Coach Wilson is he has a lot of great stories, and those stories are have meaning, and those stories are equivalent to what I'm going to go through, and that's one of the biggest things that you can't that everybody can't prepare you. Like some quarterback guru can't prepare you for that. So one of the biggest things is just don't limit myself. Don't even stress about what's going on in the process. Coach Wilson does a great job of building me up. I have won on every level, including Pop Warner going to the Super Bowl and being a state championship in high school, 16-0, and then winning conference championships in college, and being a successful quarterback. And we just mainly talk about the art of a quarterback and what you have to have overall. And obviously, knowledge is one part about it. Knowing the game is another. And Coach Wilson played receiver and he played defensive back. So he's able to give us that experience as a defensive back that you can't get from just a regular quarterback, guru, I would say, because he's been in those positions where he's trying to bait the quarterback. So just hearing those stories from him helped me out a lot, because I know I understand the position matters of how the cornerback is, or if he inside leverage or outside leverage, or what his read is. One thing that we do, we go over every defense, and he try to present that to us so that we don't go from the unknown. So nothing surprises us.
Yeah.
And a quarterback, you got to have a guy that 53 guys can jump on his back and go with. And I think I've been blessed to come to James Madison where, my guys were able to jump on my back, and SMU was a great example. And let's just go with it. That's a memory that we're going to have for our entire life. And I'm truly blessed to even be in this position. I know I got hurt, and I know a lot of people backed away after that. But honestly, getting injured was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I say that because I truly believe if I didn't get injured, that mechanically I would be the same because I probably would have went to an all-star game, probably would have got invited to the combine and things like that. But I wouldn't have had a chance to work on my craft as long and as much as I have been. And I wouldn't necessarily have this other view of life. And that's one of the biggest things that I've been able to see throughout these 4 months is football is not going to last forever, and that I'm truly honored and blessed to be in this position that I am in today, and I have to start over. I had to start over in a sense if I want to truly become an NFL quarterback. I feel like right now I'm not the same quarterback that I was at JMU. I feel like I'm much better. Just because of the information that I know and the things that I improved on. I'm still the same playmaker. I can still make plays, but I feel like that I'm a much polished and much improved quarterback. So I'm just excited. I'm just excited. This is an exciting month. My birthday at the end of this month. So I'm getting baptized at the end of this month, and the draft is at the end of this month. So I'm just really excited to see what the good Lord has planned for me.
Well, definitely, on behalf of everybody who's going to be watching this show, we want to thank you for taking the time out to to educate us on some of the aspects of quarterbacking that we don't always get to see every day. And obviously I wish you the best of luck with with your first landing spot, with what with the first stage of your career, and we'll be looking forward to seeing what goes on. And for everyone at the watching, thanks again for tuning into the RSP Film Room, and you guys have a good day.